Hi, my name is Tim Sutherland, and this is my presentation about mobile computing devices in the workplace. This is for the LED 699 MOL capstone course. Just a few things we'll be going over. I'll talk abstract, a little bit about myself, overview, methodology, application, etc. For this thesis, what I did was a metadata analysis. And that really encompassed a lot about the bring your own device to work phenomenon. Many employers have very limited use policies, which don't allow them to leverage much of the benefits of having mobile communicating devices. Again, others have just a outright ban, and while others just simply ignore the use of what's coming in and what's going out, and they just don't. They know that they can't stem the tide, so they just ignore it completely, which I think is really the wrong way to go. Um, the actions or lack thereof are really causing businesses to lose out on a lot of the benefits of having mobile commuting devices. Phillips and Goley say that there are 9 ways to gain a competitive advantage: innovation, distribution, speed, convenience, first to market, cost, service, quality, and branding. Mobile commuting devices can help with almost all of these. So if you want to be innovative, why not use mobile technology? This paper addresses some of the main concerns a lot of these people have, um, mostly security and abuse of the mobile computing devices. Again, things like Cyber Monday, where no work gets done because everybody's online shopping, are some of the main concerns. Also addresses some of the specific management styles that can be used to actually gain benefit from these devices. Um, there are many problems associated with these things, as I mentioned, but there are also many benefits, and I'd like to focus more on the benefits and how to mitigate some of the minor problems. A little bit about me. I come from a strong worldview, and you need to know that so that as you're reading my conclusions, that you know exactly where I'm coming from. I also believe in ethical relativism, which holds that whatever a country says is right or wrong for a country really is wrong or right for that country. Done a lot of business overseas. Turkey, you couldn't get anything done unless you had a Turkish representative. So you really had to pay somebody, not really a bribe, but you had to pay somebody to assist you in your businesses. Same with Qatar. You had to, in order for us to get satellite time, we had to buy cable, etc., from the satellite owner's brother-in-law. So really, it all depends on where you're at, and you're going to see that a lot throughout this presentation. Very much a situational follower and a situational leader. So again, many times it all depends. There's a long list of my personal values, and that can be found in Appendix A of my paper if you'd like to take a look at that. My personal vision is to be wise, fair, decisive. I want to be an influential leader, not just within my own family, but at my new job, whatever that means, whatever God sends me to. And then I also want to be able to just know that I need to control my sphere of influence and work towards just being fair, mellow, and accepting people. I'm going to actively seek God's direction and desire for my life. I'm not currently working, so as soon as I graduate, we'll be applying for multitude of jobs and put that in God's hands and let Him show me where He wants to go. Technology really is a gift, and we need to look at it like that. Most employers are looking at it more as a hindrance, like I said, for Cyber Monday or personal phone calls or social media. But it can also be leveraged to get a hold of subject matter experts, look at blueprints, real-time photos, etc. There are significant changes in the workplace that are a result of these new and advanced technologies. For the past generation, such as my father's generation, technology innovations seem to be introduced almost every week. The trend is guaranteed to continue, and it's going to keep presenting multiple rapid changes. You need to be on top of that. It's not going away, so you need to know how to leverage it. The key is how to manage the change management. Got to have the right people in the right place and know exactly what to do. Burke tells us that there are actually 8 stages to the change management. You need to establish a sense of urgency. Why are we doing this? Create a guiding coalition. Get those people on board early that you can. And then those people will bring the other people on board. Develop a vision and strategy. Why are we even making these changes? I think it's kind of obvious because technology is here to stay and we need to leverage that. Communicate the vision and change. Empower employees. Get their feedback. What do they want? What do they need? These are the people that are down in the trenches that are doing the job. So get them on board early. Find out what they want. Generate some short-term wins. Okay? And then you're going to take these short-term wins, consolidate those gains, and then create even more broader changes. Create that culture. Then anchor those new approaches within that culture. How did we get here? Proverbs 2, 1-5 reads, if you allow me to read this, "My son, if you accept my words and store up my commands within you, turning your ear to wisdom and applying your heart to understanding, indeed, if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, and if you look for it as for silver and search for it, hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find and gain knowledge of God." Need to do that also with what we're dealing with here. Need to be searching for answers, searching for knowledge. Need to find out what God really has planned. It's a gift. We need to leverage this gift. Again, a metadata analysis was done. Just looking through all the various websites and libraries and articles and everything, information overload really became a quick concern. That was overcome by fine-tuning and going more into exactly what was it I wanted to look at. Security was a big one. Then we had to look at the question, should companies really allow commuting devices? Well, as I mentioned before, all depends. Are you a corporation? Are you an LLC? Are you for-profit, non-profit? Are you in the field? Are you just an office? If it's mostly office workers, do they really need mobile commuting devices? It all depends, and each person's going to have to make that decision. But don't just outright write it off. You need to look at how you can leverage that, not just ban it. Research that I did really shows that updating policies, better management practices, care for people, and communication can render most of these concerns mute. Now, security is a whole nother issue that can't be, shouldn't be, just by policy, because people will do what they want to do, and there's a real desire for people to have their mobile devices on them. So you've really got to look at the management practices. My personal experiences lend credit and help to inform the EMIC on this. I've personally seen the good and the bad. As I mentioned, overseas experiences were one thing. While I was stateside, I've actually seen people up on ladders hanging rafters when somebody got a phone call. And the individual just stopped everything he was doing, set the rafter down while somebody else was in the wind on a ladder, and took a personal phone call. Safety is always a huge concern here. All my data has led me to believe, though, that updating policies and better management practice can really make a change. Mobile commuting devices in the workplace is still under debate, but we need to get off of the debate and get into action. That's where I'm at. We have to utilize these devices. Let's figure out ways to leverage it. And leveraging it, the photos you can take, the real-time data you can receive, the getting into subject matter experts immediately available and everywhere, which would be phenomenal for, say, the construction business. For, say, the medical, you can, again, get subject matter experts. You can get opinions, and you can help with diagnosis and medical records immediately on hand. Some employers still have strict policies that prevent the from using mobile commuting devices. Now, it does depend, but I would highly encourage them to try to find solutions. Allow them to have mobile commuting devices with some guided policies, definitely. And there's no need to try and stop the flood. It's coming. You've got to get on board. Be mindful of the employees, though. And while you're creating a culture of change, you've got to keep the employees' feelings in mind. And software management, such as MDM, can help, and that's discussed a little more in the paper. My conclusions have come to change management with a high degree of compromise is what people need. Managers need to understand what employees need, and employees need to understand that managers have certain safety, security measures. So there's going to need to be a high degree of compromise. You need to watch out what laws pertain to you. Again, you an LLC, nonprofit, crossing state lines, etc. You need to know what comes with that. Now, the only OSHA regulation I could find only dealt with crane operators. So right now, they're leaving that all up to the managers. So managers really need to be careful. You need to be flexible, situational, and still care for your people. You need to manage what people's expectations are. If they want to be able to have their social media on them 24/7, it's probably not acceptable. But again, that's where change management and compromise comes in. And then finally, progressive change management is what's going to be key here. So look at that, get your managers in line and go over those 8 steps that we discussed earlier and manage this change properly. Thank you.